Next on Chicago's Loop, FM98.
Live via satellite from Hollywood, it's Rockline, the show where you ask the questions for the biggest stars in rock and roll. Hello again, I'm Bob Coburn. Rockline is brought to you by Budweiser, nothing beats a Bud, and by AT&T, proud sponsors of the 1992 U.S. Olympic team. Tonight, it's an evening with Derek Smalls, David St. Hubbins, and Nigel Tufnell of Spinal Tap. So get your questions ready and call us toll-free in the U.S. and Canada at 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625, one number toll-free from anywhere in North America. You know, it seems as if rock and roll bands in the 90s are reuniting more often than the sun makes an appearance in the east each morning. It truly is an almost daily occurrence. Tragically, most do it for the wrong reasons. Fortunately for Spinal Tap, the one band that really matters, they're doing it for the one correct reason, and that's artistic integrity. What a pleasure it is to once again say, let's welcome to Rockline from Spinal Tap, David St. Hubbins. How are you this evening?
Well, I'm just fine, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Nice to see you. Also joining us tonight, Derek Smalls.
Hello, Bob.
Nice to see you as well.
And
Mr. Nigel Tufnell. It's been a while. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you then?
I'm doing fine. It's nice to have you guys here, and nice to see you have your priorities straight with your artistic integrity and coming back and doing this for all the right reasons. And I know why you reformed, but actually, how did you reform? What led to the reformation of Spinal Tap?
It's a true story, first of all. So here it is.
Okay.
We were at the funeral.
The following is a true story.
Yeah, well, don't be frightened by it, though. We was at the funeral of our manager, ex-manager, Ian Faith.
A late manager, as it turns out.
Yeah. He's dead, yeah. And everyone was so happy at the funeral because he was hated so much.
Oh, I see.
It was like despised, really.
Yeah. I mean, people were running around and laughing and people...
Free at last, they'd say. Free at last. All the people he used to manage, you know.
Yeah, literally dancing on the grave.
Yeah.
Running by the coffin and twicking his nose and...
Doing a jig on the box.
Yeah. Yeah, and so in that spirit of, really nice enjoyment and,
And it was the first time the three of us had been in a room together. I've spent some time with both of these
in about 8 years.
Individually in the past 8 years. But it was the first time that we really seen each other,
And such a fun room as well, like an Irish wake type
It was
thing.
a good
exactly.
And
like a Welsh wake, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so we walked down the road feeling really good and went to my flat, picked up some guitars, started to play and really thought, this is it again.
And then really reconciled at the MTV Awards. Is that when you really decided, let's go forth?
Well, yeah.
That's when it became public, but we'd been, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff with, like, Polymer Records, our old label, suing MCA.
Yeah.
Because our old deal was, we had a lifetime deal with Polymer to not record for them.
Exclusively.
Yes.
We tried to enter into another contract along the last 8 years, to try and not work for another company. But you can't do that.
You can't work.
It's a binding contract.
That is a problem. And then I notice you're on Dead Faith Records. This is a tribute to Ian Faith, I guess.
Yes, in a way.
In a way, yeah.
It's a left-handed tribute.
A left-handed tribute, yes. I see. 8 years, you mentioned that. Let's cover what the three of you have been doing the past 8 years, and we'll start with you, David. What have you been up to in 8 years?
Well, it's just been a mad whirlwind of activity, really. I retired, basically. I went to live in Pomona, California. I've been living there since '86.
A lovely spot.
That's a maelstrom.
Thank you very much.
That is a maelstrom.
Yeah, and Janine and I got married in the mistaken belief that it would make us American citizens, actually. But we hadn't read the green card booklet thoroughly enough, really, to know that we just became two married British people in California.
I understand.
And I've been teaching soccer to kids out there at the Parks Department, and it's great fun. And I do that sort of part-time, and I've been managing some local bands up there in the Pomona area.
You have been quite busy.
Yes.
And Derek, what about you?
You want to plug the bands now, or you want to wait for
No, I'll drop them in later on.
Okay.
It took me 8 months to get out of Japan at the end of the tour.
No, why? Why would that be?
It was a night when I went to many hotels with women of many nations, and one of them I left the passport. So anyway, I was busking in Japan for 8 months, just playing the bass in tube stations. And they don't like the bass in Japan. No. It's really not.
It's too low for them.
It's really too low for them. They're so small, it goes right under them.
Yes.
Got back, did some session work, commercial session work in London. The Belgian Milk Board commercials, you may have heard.
Oh, I've heard, yes,
Milk,
those are legendary.
Milk, if it was any richer, it'd be cream. It was a rockin' spot, and it rhymed in Flemish.
Yeah.
And then I went on the road with a Christian band for 2 years, Lamb's Blood. Yeah, it was good experience. Going on the other side.
Yes, and now you're back on this side.
Back on this side.
Yes, indeed.
Back on the winning side.
The winning side. And Nigel, what have you been up to?
Yeah, well, I had a similar problem in Japan. I got out a little quicker. I made my way across Asia, and I met some rather nice young women along the way as well. One girl particularly named Giba. Her name was Giba.
Ooh, I like that.
And we got to Switzerland, and they stopped us at the border, and they said, papers, please. They said that in their language. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, you can't go past here unless you have papers. And I didn't, so they drafted me to the Swiss Army.
Oh, so you ended up in the Swiss Army?
Yeah, and, they let me play that wake-up song every morning,
Well, did you get the troops out of bed type thing?
Yeah.
On the electric guitar?
On the electric guitar,
On the electric guitar?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be damned.
And it was like that sort of, real... loud sort of wake-up thing that I did. Because, of course, I had a stack of marshals outside the little tents there.
Sure,
and I was just blowing them down.
Sure.
And after a while, they said, Nige, maybe you should go home. And they gave me a little knife, though. That little knife with all the blades.
The Swiss Army knife, the famous... Well, then it must have been worth it all.
No, not
No,
really.
okay, all right.
No.
You got to keep the effects boxes too, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then that certainly justifies...
They've got a magnifying glass on it.
How wonderful.
Yeah.
We're going to play your first single and first video right now. It's been 8 years and
a screwdriver as well.
And a screwdriver as well.
8 years and a screwdriver.
8 years and a screwdriver. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you're getting a lot of heat on the song and also the video. It's called Bitch School.
Yeah.
People are complaining that it's sexist.
Who's doing that?
We don't see
Well,
it.
there have been some comments about that and that and the pervasive use of scantily clad women for the video for MTV and for other outlets and whatnot. How do you respond to this?
Well, first of all, that it seems like controversy follows us around. It's
Dogs
not,
us.
Yeah, well, that's a good point because the song "Bitch School" is about dogs.
Oh, it's about dogs.
It's about training dogs. It's not about
It's
women.
clearly in the lyrics. I mean, that's why we
Silly
include the lyrics.
You're very
sheet.
fetching when you're down on all fours.
Yeah,
what
what
could
else?
that be? You've got
What
to be
else could
so
that mean,
oppressed to think
really?
that's about anything but dogs.
How could anyone misconstrue something like that?
I don't know, but they've done it. It's like that Lennon McCartney song.
Martha, my dear.
No.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
that's what you were
that's
thinking.
about
Good call.
no,
I was thinking of Norwegian Wood.
Norwegian Wood. Oh. I'm not sure why you were, but...
Oh, well, because, you see...
You have to ask him.
Yes, I know. I'm beginning to learn this.
And
yes.
you should begin to be sorry that you asked him
Yes,
right away.
well, I'm learning that as well.
Right.
No, but it's really true. You see, in Britain, of course, Norwegian Wood is a euphemism for an erection. You say, hey, Nige, don't stand up. You got a Norwegian Wood.
Oh, so it's kind
But
of
in this
Norwegian
country-
Woody, we would call it here in the
that-
States.
oh,
Well, it's
yes,
rhyming
that
slang.
all makes
But
sense.
in this country, we get dogged, literally, as Derek was saying.
Yeah.
And over there, we also get dogged.
So what's the difference? What was the point you were making?
Well,
I mean, we were working on a point, weren't we?
Oh, no, not yet.
Look, let me put it this way about the video. If we had said, look, there's a Spinal Tap video being shot tomorrow. We need 20 young people, attractive, in a state of undress, but women need not apply. What would the feminists say then?
Yeah.
They'd say, let us in the video.
Yes.
Equal opportunities,
yeah.
jobs, you
Yes.
know. So we give all the jobs
We
to them.
can't win. And the video, which is really quite tame by the standards that I've seen.
Today's standards.
It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
I mean,
it
it's a
is, yeah.
joke, really.
No foxy boxing in it.
No, right. No oil wrestling.
No
you know.
oil wrestling at all.
Well, very little.
Well, I think it's time to check it out then. It's time to go to Bitch School with Spinal Tap on Rockline.
Good girl.
Yeah, Spinal Tap from the brand new CD, Break Like the Wind. That is Bitch School. We'll be back in just a moment with David, Derek, and Nigel on Rockline. Call us toll free at 1-800-344-ROCK on the Global Satellite Network. It's Rockline. It's an evening with Spinal Tap. I'm Bob Coburn. We're going to hit the phones right now. We have Chris on the line in eastern Pennsylvania, listening to 95.1 in Allentown, PA. And Chris, you're on the line.
Yeah. Were there any near-fatal drummer accidents during the recording?
Not as such. We started recording before we had actually signed a drummer with a drum machine, a very expensive Japanese machine, I believe, and
Was it Japanese?
I don't think so.
well, it was from some foreign land.
Yeah, it was made here.
No, but it kept burning out. It just kept quitting on, and finally just like went up in smoke, and
It blew chips.
Yeah.
Just
It blew
hourly,
chips.
hourly. Yeah.
It hurled chips. you
What
know.
about this drumming audition that we heard so much about? There were
Yeah.
51 people that came to the LA Coliseum?
Well, actually, around 350 came.
We only listened to
Wow.
51.
You only listened to
time
51.
listen to
Yeah.
51.
And had 51 people to judge the contest, and how did the voting come out?
It came out very well.
It came out very
Yeah.
well.
We excluded a few people. We haven't chosen a winner yet. Mick Fleetwood, who came down, was in a
Asbestos suit.
asbestos suit.
An asbestos
which
suit.
showed fear right away, which you
Yeah.
can't have as a drummer.
Yeah, so
and then
if
it
you-
also retarded his arm movement. He really couldn't lift them.
And even with non-retarded arms, you know, I mean, in an asbestos suit, it's
And-
not the best
yeah.
of
I
conditions.
guess that was in fear of spontaneously combusting.
Yes, exactly.
Well, whatever.
at
It was
any
fear.
point.
You said it.
It was fear.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, well,
So, but, you know, we've talked to Mick since, and he's a bit miffed, and, you know, if he's listening tonight...
He's a
I'd just
bit
like to
micked.
say- He's a bit
He's a bit micked,
He's a
yes.
bit micked. A bit micked.
Bit micked.
Yes. I'd like to say, Biff...
Mick you.
out there, say hello to Mick.
Yeah. But we do have a great new drummer, we should say, Rick Shrimpton, who's the younger twin brother of Mick, and he's great drummer.
a younger twin. I mean, it was
20 minutes.
Well,
20 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
We should
But
also...
he insists on being known as...
Is
Younger, yeah.
The younger.
It's an ego thing. He's not
Shrimpton
feeling
the
well,
Minor.
though.
Shrimpton
He's
Minor.
not feeling well.
No, he's got a little fever, and you know that sweaty sort of upper lip where it sort of beads into little
not a good sign.
reflective things. Yeah.
Not a good sign?
No, but you know,
You've been looking too close.
Way too close.
Yeah.
Do you have...
So if people are sweating like that, they might be feverish. You don't want to get so close
want
that
to
you're
back
doing
off a bit?
poetry, looking at the sweat
How
on the
big are
upper
the
lip.
beads exactly?
You can't
Well,
stop him. You can't let him go on like this because he's a lunatic. But we love him.
You must have backup drummers then, if this man appears to be ill.
we've done auditions in Norway,
Sweden.
Germany, and Australia. So when we're playing in various
and
places,
Los Angeles.
and Los
Yeah.
Angeles,
And there's one
so-
coming up in London.
And they're on beepers, you see. We put them on beeper.
Oh, you put them on a
So
beeper,
if a
sure.
show's not going well and he looks a bit like he's flagging a bit,
Yeah.
you know, we just hit the beeper.
And the
then
local
they-
lad.
New drummer
Come running
materializes
in.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's thinking ahead.
Yeah.
That's smart
Well,
planning.
it's maturity, isn't it, Bob?
It certainly is. It shows how the band has matured. By the
Exactly.
way, Chris, thanks for the call from WZZO. Randy's in St. Louis listening to Casey. Randy, you're on with Spinal Tap.
Yeah, I was just wondering, did you inadvertently leave off the name from the album, or did you inadvertently record the 13th song?
Oh, the 13th song.
Oh, yes.
Well, it's a rather long story. I mean, it's not really triskaidekaphobic. Are you familiar with that word? It's a wonderful word. It means fear of the number 13. But that's not what we were doing there. It was more of a thematic idea, because the title is the track number. In fact, the song is called Now Leaving on track 13.
And it is track 13.
Yeah,
it is
but
track 13.
no hotel has a 13th floor.
Yeah.
So in tribute to all the hotels we've stayed in, we left it off.
And we thought it would be dishonest just to misnumber it and say that the 13th track was actually the 14th, or vice versa.
Well, that'll get you a free stay at the Four Seasons anywhere in the world,
It
probably.
should
huh?
do.
It
It
certainly
should
should
do.
do that,
Yeah.
I would think. Randy, thank you. Jonathan from Toronto, Q107, you're on.
Good evening, Tap.
Good
Hello,
evening,
sir.
Jonathan.
How are you?
How are you?
Excellent, boys. Are you having a good time over here?
We're having
Yeah.
a fabulous time. How about you?
Oh, great time.
Good,
It's
good.
a privilege and an honor to speak to you this evening.
Bless your
Thanks.
heart.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've got two quick questions here.
Right.
First one for the boys of Tap. All together, maybe whoever wants to handle it can handle it.
Well, what about answering it?
You're talking about the
Yes,
question now.
indeed.
We're not going to be handling anything else, all right?
No handling.
No,
no.
okay.
Anyways, is there any chance that in maybe upcoming albums that the Top are going to be returning to their early psychedelic, listen to the Flower People type stage and producing any more of that music?
I think
Interesting.
it's a very good question, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I would say that depending on, you know, there are nights that I feel like we're doing that, even though we're not literally doing
Exactly. Yeah, when in fact we're doing Moonlight in Vermont. And
Yeah.
You're having all
But we
these
should.
visions.
it. I don't think we're
That's
going to
what
make
happens.
a specific attempt to do psychedelic music anymore. It just has to be, if we've eaten something weird, it might happen.
But we should point out on the new album is Rainy Day Sun, which was
was going to say that came from an earlier session.
It's the original.
That's right.
67.
And that is
but it's never been heard in this form before with the entire sound collage reconstituted.
Oh, well, hopefully we'll have a chance to play that tonight.
Oh, yeah. It's one of our favourites, yeah.
Jonathan, thank you very much.
But he has a second question, didn't he?
I think he did, and yes, we should bring him back. Jonathan, do you have another question?
Yes, I got one question for Derek.
Yeah.
Derek, your pipe that you love so much.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, would there be a slight herbal tinge on the inside of that, possibly?
Look, I know what you're aiming at. Look, let me just put it this way. If I was going to endorse a beer, let's say, large amounts of money would have to change hands first. Would come my way. Indeed, so if I'm going to endorse anything that I might or might not use, because Michael Jackson doesn't even touch Pepsi, but he endorses it, large amounts of money would have to come my way, wouldn't they? Or I'd be stupid to endorse them.
You might be stupid anyway, but
I might
have nothing to do with what you're talking
about what I'm endorsing.
Yes. Well, there's your answer, I think, very plainly, Jonathan. And
so if this is an offer, he's interested.
If this is an offer, this is a request.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And that Rockline mailing address, P.O. Box 4383, Hollywood, California. We're going to play the title track right now, Break Like the Wind, and understand there were some guest guitar appearances on this. And,
one of us is a bit sensitive about it.
Well, let's then someone else talk about that. Would that be Nigel? You're still a little bit... upset?
Well, no, I've gotten over it. I really have.
It's the maturity again.
We should explain to those listening what happened.
Look,
so that
very simply,
inside.
We did this track, Break Like the Wind, and I went out, for some reason, out the studio. When I came back, I saw on the console it said Beck, Satriani, Lukather, and Slash, and I thought it was a joke, you know.
He went out for a couple of days, it should be pointed out.
Now, what they did behind my back, which they said was for a birthday gift, is they took some of my solo and erased it and added the other chaps.
So it was tributes. They were paying tribute.
So you were paying tribute. You took it as an insult.
He just wept. He wept.
You see, at first he did.
Now, you know, that's not the sort of birthday gift I'm used to. I mean, that's like, you know, high colonic as a surprise or something, you know, which isn't my idea of a gift.
Next year.
Well, no, thank you. So anyway, I've gotten over it a bit. My solo is the first one, then Slash, then Lukather, then Satriani.
Well, your solo in the middle.
Yeah.
You're the soloist in the middle.
Yeah.
And at the end of the tune, after the last verse, the third verse, then we go into what?
Slash,
Lukather,
Satriani,
and Beck.
And then they all play the last chord together.
The last chord is memorable, I think.
Unbelievable.
None of them could carry your guitar case, but we'll play the song anyway.
Tried.
Here it is for you on Rockline. It's a guitar lover's dream, the title track of the new one, the first in 8 years by Spinal Tap, and we can all identify with this song, Break Like the Wind. We've all had that haven't we? Our evening with Derek Smalls, David St. Hubbins, and Nigel Tufnell. Spinal Tap will continue in just a few moments. Plenty of time to hear from you, so give us a call on the Rockline AT&T toll-free number at 1-800-344-ROCK. Rockline and AT&T, the right choice. And welcome back. It's an evening with Spinal Tap. I'm Bob Coburn. Next week, our guest will be Don Henley. And in addition to Don's music, we'll also talk about some of the benefit concerts he's been involved in for Walden Woods and other related projects. Upcoming guests include keyboardist Tony Banks of Genesis, Brian May and Roger Taylor of Queen in their first radio interview since the passing of Freddie Mercury, and a special rock line from backstage at Wembley Stadium in London, featuring many of the guests that will be performing at the Freddie Mercury tribute concert on Monday, April 20th. Are you scheduled to appear at that, gentlemen?
Scheduled to appear.
Scheduled to appear.
Yeah.
Scheduled to appear.
I'd love to see you up there. Let's take some more calls.
We'd love to see us up there as well.
You would too, wouldn't you? Yes, indeed. Call from Charlotte, North Carolina. It's Chuck, 95.7 WXRC, our station. Chuck, you're on with Spinal Tap.
Hello, lads.
Hello,
lad.
I hope you guys are going to tap into Charlotte on your tour.
Oh, sounds great.
We'd love to.
What's the weather like in the late spring?
Well, it's 40 degrees now, but it sort of varies.
No, in the late spring. I mean, like when we're going to be there in May.
Well,
June.
late spring, every place is now.
It'll probably be around 75 or 80.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sounds
good.
fine. Let's do it.
Let's go. We're on.
We'll give it a try. Yeah.
Good time to tap into Charlotte.
Love
Yeah.
to,
Yes.
Okay, my question is for Nigel and David. In the 60s, when you were the originals, the Timsmen, the Dutchmen, etc., did you ever have the opportunity to meet or perform with the Ruddles, and did they influence you musically or otherwise?
No, not really. No.
In fact, the first time I heard of them was about 18 months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
No,
I
knew
never-
about them. I knew about them,
Yeah.
but
I never
we
came
really
across
didn't
them.
run in the same circles, to be honest with
No,
you.
we were playing mostly music then.
Yeah, we were down in London. They were up in sort of the north. Yeah, North Country.
Yeah, I saw them up there a couple of times when I was touring.
Yeah.
Now, whereabouts is Squatney? I hear that.
Well, Squatney's it's the east end of London. You know, if you go along the river, you know, towards the east. You know, do you know where the Tower of London is?
Yes. I
And
do.
you know, if you keep going past that, do you know where Whitechapel is?
No, I don't remember that.
Petticoat Lane.
Now he's
okay,
got-
of
now
course
he's got
it is.
you.
Of course,
Do you know where
that goes
Wapping
straight.
is?
Yes, of course, yes.
Wapping. Well, it's near there. It's you know where Stepney is. That's a famous.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's near-
Squatney's near Stepney.
Well, it's not that near.
It's fairly close.
Yeah,
It's squatting
It's
distance.
about 2
It is
districts
squatting
down.
distance. Yeah, from
Oh, okay,
Stepney.
all right.
Squatney
I
distance.
did want to clear that up. And Chuck, thank you for the call. Stoughton, Massachusetts is where we're headed now. We have Murph on the line, a listener of WAAF Boston. Murph, here's the tap for you.
Hello, Cleveland.
Hello, Murph.
Hey, you.
Hello. My question is for Nigel.
Yeah.
Nigel, I noticed in the rockumentary by Marty DeBerge
The Hatchet Job.
that you were experiencing some problems with the arrangements backstage on your last tour
Yeah.
with the miniature bread and so forth.
Yes.
And my question
He's
to
making fun.
you
He's making fun of you.
Yeah.
is have you found a competent caterer for any upcoming tours?
Are you a caterer? Is that what you're getting at?
Well, about 6 months out of the year I am.
That's a strange job. And what do you do the other 6 months?
Well, I work with underprivileged children, actually.
Yeah. Well, that would work out then with us.
He's catered to the other 6 months, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
I see.
exactly.
Yeah. Basically, the answer is no. We have not found a good caterer. They always seem to be lacking. Don't
You know
they?
who was good though? There was a French lady, and all of her food was.
Oh, well, she was great.
The one that dressed
Food
like
was
a
crap.
Little
No,
maid.
food was crap.
But she wore
was
that
great.
maid's uniform.
But
didn't
she also made those pies and those crepes and those apple things and stuff. She was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So occasionally we'll get someone who can do one thing, can do a sauce,
Yeah.
or do a decent pastry, and we'll keep
Yeah.
her on
Or a
for
cobbler.
a while.
Do a nice cobbler.
Yeah.
I think no second film was a good choice. It really was a hatchet job that first time around, don't you think?
I'm glad you agree, Bob.
Yeah.
You can't give a camera to somebody and say follow us about. You
Well,
know,
you can.
Well, you can, but it's like.
And they
it's like-
did.
We did. It's like giving a rusty razor blade to someone and say, "How about a shave, governor?" You know, I mean, it's just
You
stupid.
just can't do that.
Yeah,
type
it's
of
like
thing,
it's like giving a rolling pin to a magician.
Yeah. Why is that?
Gee, I wish I'd said that.
We
I'm
make
not
it
sure
disappear.
why, but
We make it disappear.
I'm not
Is that
really
the idea?
following you on this one, Nige. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Musician or
You've
magician?
left me in the dust once again.
All right. What's the next question?
Well, I don't know, but let's find out. It's Adam in Cleveland, Ohio.
Hello, Cleveland.
This is 100.7 The Buzzard is our station there, and Adam, you're on.
Hello, Nigel, Derek, and David.
How you doing?
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Great.
First of all, I'd just like to say this album means a lot to me because I got into you guys just about when you broke up. So.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
that's, well, you know, thanks for hanging in there and not,
Yeah.
like, you know, throwing yourself off a cliff or something. I'm glad you're around.
They don't
too.
have cliffs in Cleveland, do they?
Well,
the Cleveland
not that
Cliffs.
many.
The
bluffs.
in Clifland, they do. Yeah.
They have heights, I know that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And it's a great album. Okay, my question is, has the band's momentum changed because of your constant drummer loss?
That's an interesting question.
It used to. Yeah, it used to in the old days, and I don't mean to be insensitive, but when another drummer dies, you sort of just, you hardly miss a beat these days.
Literally. I mean, it's when we realised it was a curse, it changed our attitude, because there's no use, yelling and screaming, cursing your fate, and going and getting drunk and cancelling a gig.
Well, there is
or a
that
tour.
is fun to do.
But
That-
as great as it is in
You don't
itself,
have to do it.
yeah,
That is true.
But there's no point, if you could just, if it's a curse, it's like fallen arches,
Yeah.
So you're
get a new one.
A trio with a hired hand is
Well,
you perceive
quartet.
it?
Well, we have a keyboard player as well.
Yes. Oh, of
Oh,
course
yeah,
you do.
yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it's not a hired hand. He's part of the band until
Caucasian Jeff Vanston is his name.
Didn't you at once have, I believe, Vic Savage,
Viv.
keyboard player
Viv. Yeah.
and you found out actually that he had been a drummer, but you
Yes.
weren't able to perceive that in the beginning, were
No,
you?
well, the way we found out was he went to visit, Viv did, he went to visit the grave of Mick Shrimpton.
They were very close.
Yeah, this is up in Hampstead in London, and the grave exploded.
The grave exploded
And it killed-
while he was there.
It was
Yeah.
a build-up
Oh, my
of
God.
methane gas.
That was a
which happens quite
scientific
often, yeah.
explanation, quote,
And
inverted
so
commas.
we later found out he was a drummer.
Before he had been
Which you
a
could
keyboard
never have
player.
told from his playing, because he was totally arrhythmic on the keys.
Yeah.
You see, if you stick your head in a graveyard under the earth, even if it's like an inch, if you put your nose an inch, you'll feel the power of the various organic sort of modules under there.
So it's a good thing not to do then, eh?
Yeah.
Apparently, it would be like giving a rolling pin to a magician.
It would be exactly like that.
I would think so. I think what we're going to do right now is play some music, and could I get you to pick up some guitars here? And,
Which one? These?
You mean
The ones that aren't in tune yet, yeah.
Yeah, these are, I don't think these are really ready to go.
Well, I tell you what, why don't we hang on to that, and we'll play something recorded.
Great.
And then we'll come back and get you to play
we know
live
that's
in a
not in
second.
tune.
Yeah, we can pretty well count on that.
Yeah,
can't we?
right. That was the idea.
I think this song pretty well describes itself, and this actually goes back a few years back, I believe, to 1973. This is Big Bottom, a Spinal Tap on Rockline. Let's listen to it. There we go. That is Big Bottom from Brain Hammer from 1973, and I think most of the people listening in our affiliate stations would agree that is one of the all-time classic rock and roll songs.
Thanks. Yeah.
Spinal Tap, our guest tonight, and we'll take a couple of calls. You have guitars in hand. They're playing just a moment.
That's what they look like. Yeah.
They certainly do appear to be guitars. They look like ones I've seen
Incredibly
before.
guitar-like.
We have a call from Orlando, Florida. It's Stephanie, a listener of WDIZ. Stephanie, you are on with David and Derek and Nigel.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey,
You guys
good.
great.
Thanks.
So you survived spring break, did you?
Oh yeah, barely.
Gets pretty wild down there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
We were
great.
there.
Yeah, we were
That's
down there
right.
this year.
If you're not fixed, don't break it.
I got a couple of quick questions here.
Great.
I was wondering what kind of pyrotechnics y'all had planned for your upcoming videos.
Top secret.
Oh, for the
Top
videos.
secret.
For videos.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know about pyrotechnics. We went a bit sort of light and entertaining on the first one. We're hoping that the second video will be really pretentious and more sort of like
Exploratory.
Yes. Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Now, what might that second video be? Would that be the power ballad with Cher? Is
That is being held in abeyance right now.
Oh,
We would
okay.
love to get to
We'll
that right now,
discuss
but it's
that.
an availability problem, really. You know?
Probably the
okay,
Majesty of Rock looks like the next.
Oh, okay.
Something
Yeah,
anthemic, you know.
Anthemic, yes.
Anthemic.
We're
Yes,
known for
good
our
word, yes.
anthemic work.
Anthemic
really,
work, yes.
And what was your second question, Stephanie?
This is for Nigel. I wanted to know if you'd ever seen Jamie Lee Curtis in the nude.
No. Nice of you to ask. It's, you must have just come from that Mensa meeting as well. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing they talk about there, isn't it? Stephanie, thank you very much for being on. And we're going to head to Ottawa now and talk with Larry, a listener of 54 Rock. Larry, you're on with Spinal Tap.
Hello, Larry.
Larry, calm down. Now, calm down.
Larry,
How are you?
save us.
Listen, I suspect Cher, Beck, Satriani, and Lukather were somewhat elated when asked to contribute to Break the Wind.
Yeah, break
Like the Wind.
Like the Wind,
Comment
yes.
on how they
You make it
felt
sound like a dirty thing.
Yes, they were elated. In fact, yeah, they said you must be joking when we said, would you like to do this? And
That was a sign of their relation.
yeah, and then they did it, and then they were.
How do you know that they're related?
Elated.
No, not related. Elated.
Elated.
And that was
I
the
was
word
missing
he
this
used.
entire conversation, although I was listening as closely as I could.
Yeah.
They're not related.
Yeah, so they were quite
Synaptic.
excited about it. Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah.
Cher begged us. She really did. What happened was, we have this power ballad on the album called Just Begin Again, which is what we're doing, hence the name.
Yes.
And we knew that as a power ballad, you need to have a duet because you have to, and also David can't hit some of the notes. So, with all respect.
No.
So
That's exactly the way I took it.
That's right. So we said to Steve Lukather, who was producing the track, we don't know any women who sing, do you? And he said, I know Cher.
And we said, look no further.
You do not. He said, yeah, I produced her last album.
Yeah.
He said, she's got these photographs of her, which she would rather not have made public.
You've seen some of the ones. You've seen some of the ones that she
Has made public.
Yes, some of
So
those
he
I
called her.
can't- You can only imagine the ones that she has.
He reminded her of that fact, and straight away she called us up and begged to be on the record.
Yeah,
It is.
worked like a charm.
And I understand, David, that you and she got along in the studio famously.
Well, in
Is
a
that
way.
the case, or is that...
Well,
No, it's not the case,
Her
actually.
contract,
Oh,
her
I see.
contract stipulated, and this is just evidence of her professionalism, that I remain 200 yards away from her while
What, at
she
least?
was recording.
At least 200
At least a
yards.
minimum of 200
it's kind of
yards.
like a TRO.
It's just the way the woman works, you know, and
temperament.
I've got to respect that, yeah. And so that put me in the middle of the house, about 3 doors down, and I got to know the family rather well. I mean, they're very
nice people.
sweet.
They had the same arrangement with you, so you had to move to the next house.
Larry, thank you.
So I got to know a wonderful Korean family, and she had a great vocal on tape.
Well,
so,
it can't work out any better than that. Brenda has been waiting patiently in Dayton, Ohio, listener 104.7 WTUE. And Brenda, you are on the rock line.
Hi, David, Derek, and Nigel.
Hello, Brenda.
First of all, I'd like to say that I think Spinal Tap is just phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
And I just bought Break Like the Wind.
Oh, thank you.
I was just very excited to see that you put All the Way Home on there.
Yes. And you may be excited to know we're going to do it live this evening.
In your face.
Oh, great.
In your ear.
If you'd like us to.
And we will dedicate it to you.
To Brenda.
Brenda.
Any other questions?
I couldn't help but notice on the cover what great shape you guys are all in.
Buff, huh? Really?
I just wondered, with the way that your lives have been going and how busy you've been, how do you stay, so extremely fit?
Yeah.
Photo retouching.
Well, no, seriously.
Well, I've let it slip.
No, seriously.
It's not all you let
at
slip.
our age, when you go on the road, you've got to be in real good shape. Because, in the old days, we used to trash rooms, and now we're so tired, we usually get groupies to do it for us.
It's fresh for them. It's new.
Hire people to do it for you.
Well, just the girls who come around. Darling, would you
certainly.
please trash the telly tonight for us? We'll be in bed. Watching.
Sounds like a country tune, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
So we had to make the time to go to private fitness instructors and work our way
really world-class,
ever upwards.
World-class trainers we used, and the best machines that their money could buy for us with our money.
What's like with a good weightlifter, you really don't see it with the clothing on.
That's
you really
true.
Have to it's kind of hard to tell.
Right, if I took off my shirt, you'd say, you'd all say the same thing.
Say the same thing.
You'd put your shirt back on.
Put your guitars to use, would you please?
Okay, well, we've got to make sure we're in tune. Can I have an A, Nige?
Again?
See, it's changed.
A lot of people, for a lot of people who come to our concerts, this is their favourite part. We just stand there and tune on stage.
Well, we insist.
Stand in tune,
We insist on
that's unique.
being in tune.
Hello, do these mics work, you think?
I think they are on.
Really?
Yes. I think all the
Scratch
mics
it.
are on.
Scratch it and it itches.
Wait a minute, quiet. This is David scratching. There you go. You just got to hug it a bit.
Well, hug
See
it,
there?
I think,
You're virtually married to the
it's
thing.
very, very sensitive,
Okay. Yeah.
What are we doing then?
Let's do All the Way Home.
I'm going to dedicate to the young woman from
Brenda.
Dayton.
To Brenda.
Brenda. To Brenda.
1, 2. Well, I'm sitting here beside the railroad track, and I'm waiting for that train to bring her back. If she's not on the 519, then I'm gonna know what sorrow means, and I'm gonna cry, cry, cry all the way home. 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 Said I'm gonna cry, cry, cry all the way home. Now her daddy never liked me, this he said, and he could not get it through his old gray head that I loved his daughter so, did not mean to see her go. Now I'm gonna cry, cry, cry all the way home. 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 Said I'm gonna cry, cry, cry all the way home. Mr. Nigel Tough.
Almost exactly like the record. Almost exactly. The new album is called Break Like the Wind. It's Spinal Tap, and we'll be back with them in just a moment on Rockline. Call us toll free at 1-800-344-ROCK. It's Rockline on the global satellite. I think that's blatantly environmental positive actions on your part there.
Thanks.
Spinal Tap. Just stinking up the great outdoors there. And we're going to take a call from Brent in Fargo, North Dakota.
Yes.
How far can you go from Q98? Brent, you're on.
All right. This question is directed to Nigel.
Yeah.
And I was wondering whatever became of the classic song "Lick My Love Pump," and if you had finished the trilogy for that.
Well, you're from South Dakota?
North Dakota.
North Fargo, yeah. I'm still working on it. You know, it's proven to be probably my life's work. Every day I get up, whenever I get up, and I go over to the guitar and I strum a bit, and I go to the piano and I go to the viola, and it's all being pieced together. And I was sitting at the chessboard the other day, looking out the window. The rain was drizzling down.
You were wishing you knew how to play chess.
Or the viola.
I've got that
viola.
I've got that Nerf chess. That new, and no one gets hurt, it says on the box.
Wait a minute.
What?
No one gets hurt playing regular chess.
Well, the feelings do. His stuff.
I see.
Well, anyway,
so
back to your question. It's been evolving and modulating, and it eventually it will become a full-blown piece. But it's really my life work. But thanks for asking. It really
is your toughest nut, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's his only nut.
Yeah.
But that's a different story, isn't it? Yeah.
Very different.
You should finish that. You should continue working on that. I don't know if you noticed our audience, the females, all thrust their fist into the air.
Yeah,
really.
let me see
one blow.
Let me see you do that again. 1, 2, 3.
That's it.
Yeah,
there we go. All right. Yeah, there we have
Consider it done, ladies.
They're coming back. You're coming back too, I hope. It's Rockline in progress on the Global Satellite Network. 1-800-344-ROCK. Only one number for the one and only Rockline. It's an evening with Spinal Tap. Rock and Bob Coburn. We have a call for the band from Billy in Blacksburg, Virginia, a listener of Rock 105 in Christiansburg. And Billy, you're on the show.
Billy.
This is Billy from VA.
Billy.
Spinal Tap from the UK.
Hello,
Hey.
Billy.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, I've got a question for Derek Small.
Yeah.
I was wondering, Derek, are you still packing cucumbers?
Zucchinis, Billy. Many people say cucumbers, but if you check the difference, the skin, in terms of simulating what you're trying to simulate on stage,
How would you know about that?
the skin, I will persist, the skin of a cucumber is so bloody pimply that you get people worried.
Well, yeah,
Really,
but worried in a good way.
Which is it's the opposite of
Well,
what you
it
want
might
to
be
do.
an unsightly type
It's
thing.
a weird arousal. It's not the appropriate arousal, so it's always a zucchini.
Certainly concerned.
Concerned,
Yes.
perhaps disturbed.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it's wrapped in a new composite sheeting, which was an offshoot of the research on the stealth bomber. So it goes through metal or radar.
It goes under radar as well.
Anything. Now,
do you cut off the end where the zucchini is grown? Is it circumcised, so to speak?
I mean the floret.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you just pop that in the mouth.
No, wow.
Swallow it whole.
Many like to do that.
Many do.
Many pay for that.
Many can be asked. Few will be chosen.
It's true. Would you play a song for us, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you have in mind?
Well, we thought we'd go way back in the memory bin.
Okay.
Which we have backed up to the alley here.
Yes.
Yeah. And we're going to do, this was actually the first tune we recorded as the Thamesmen.
Yeah.
And we released it, nothing happened. We went to Amsterdam and became the Dutchmen. And then we came back home as the Dutchmen and found that the single started to climb the charts.
As the Thamesmen.
Yeah, and we changed our name back to the
Back to
Thamesmen.
the
But it
Thamesmen.
peaked and it was over with. So, But anyway, we've always sort of liked it. And it's called Gimme Some Money.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Stop wasting my time. You know what I want. You know what I need. Or maybe you don't. Do I have to come right flat out and tell you everything? Give me some money. Give me some money. Oh yeah. Now I'm nobody's fool. I'm nobody's clown. I'm treating you cool. I'm putting you down. But baby, I don't intend to leave empty-handed. Give me some money. Give me some money. Oh yeah. Go, Nigel, go.
try getting me right. Give me some money. Your face is okay, but your purse is too tight. Give me some money. Now I'm looking for pound notes, loose change, bad checks, anything. Give me some money. 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 Give me some money.
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. I've been in this chair for over 10 years, and that is one of the finest I've heard. You can tell how tight the band has been, from the Timsman to the Dutchman to the Timsman, and now the Spinal Tap version.
Have you really been sitting in that chair for all that time?
I never go home.
You must have sores the size
sweating.
of
Think of the
saucers.
sweat.
Yeah.
But think of the service I get. Everyone brings me everything I need.
true.
I never have to go out for anything.
Good deal. Yeah.
Let's talk to Russ. He's in Davis, California, listening to 93 Rock in Sacramento. Russ, you're on with Spinal Tap.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi, not much.
Hey, Russ.
All right, I have a hypothetical question for you guys.
Oh, we love those.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to do Stonehenge in your next concert set?
Is that hypothetical?
Yeah, he wants to get some sort of four-letter response from us.
Yeah, we're going to do bloody Stonehenge. Is that what you want to hear?
Yeah.
No, I was just wondering. That's one of my favorite songs. So.
Oh yeah, we love it too. We love doing it. It's just it really doesn't work without the the show element. I mean, it really is part of the spectacle of the song. I think
On this tour, we should say, on this tour, which starts in May, around the country, we will be doing Stonehenge as you've never seen it before.
Yes, so the answer is yes.
Yes.
We will be doing it, and yes.
But an element of surprise this
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Mystery is essential to what we do.
I think we're
There
playing
we go.
Indianapolis, aren't we?
I hope so.
Now?
Why would
No,
we
not now. Later.
No,
Yeah.
we're Los Angeles still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's in Sacramento.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
we know that.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Good point, Nige.
We all knew that. Yeah.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Anytime I can help you, let me know. Spokane, Washington is where the next caller is
Yes.
from. His name is Mike. He's listening to Rock 106. Hey, Mike, you're on the radio.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mike.
My question is for Nigel, absolutely the most flatulent guitarist of all time. Being a guitarist myself, I'm interested in the technique of hair popping that you use on Christmas with the Devil, and I was wondering if you could give us any real pointers on that. I'd like to learn that.
Yeah. How long is your hair?
Middle of my back.
Middle. That's good. Do you wash it how many times a week?
Oh, not a week.
Yeah.
More bi-monthly.
Monthly.
This is what I would suggest for you, and I've not, been sent a sample of your hair, but I would suggest this. Wash it exactly once a week on Mondays and lay it out on a big, nice, fluffy Turkish towel. And it's like playing with a kitten. You roll around a bit and you fluff it a bit and you say goo, goo, goo to your hair. In other words, treat it like your best friend. And then you'll find that the harmonics, especially on the high E string, really are crystal clear.
Okay.
I thought I was your best friend.
Well, I don't mean... No, it was just
You've
an
never
example.
treated me like that.
Oh, no, and if I do, we're in trouble.
He
aren't
never
we?
put you
Big
to.
trouble,
I'm just
yeah.
He
saying.
never put you on a Turkish towel.
No, never. That's not what I heard. He's never fluff dried me in any way.
Mike, there you go. I hope you recorded that. I hope you remember that. Pete is on the line in New York City, 92.3 K-Rock, our station there. Pete, are you ready?
Yeah, how you doing, guys?
Hey, Pete. How are you, Pete?
Good to have you back.
And you. Thanks.
Listen, I'd like to know, do you feel you were overlooked when you achieved the breakthrough of like cranking up your amps to 11? Like you should have patented this and
well,
you lose a lot of money, a lot of status.
Well, that's
2020 hindsight.
Or the kilt.
Exactly right.
For God's sake.
If you had copyrighted wearing a kilt in a rock and roll band, you'd,
of course, very many areas.
But you've got the patent on Infinity, don't you?
Well, my new amplifier goes to Infinity, and it's got that little sign on the amp.
Oh, that upside down 8 that inverted.
Yeah,
exactly. It actually is an 8.
You think the knob
It's
is
an 8,
broken
they just
because it
turn
just
it on
keeps
its side.
it just keeps stuck.
twirls and twirls and
So it
twirls.
goes to infinity.
One would think that it would be broken, but no,
That's
it just
right.
keeps going and going.
It's getting
and
louder
going.
and louder.
That's original. Must work as well as that wine glass. We'll be back in a minute on Rockline and the Global Satellite Network.
Only 10 minutes away from our midnight album, Exile on Main Street from the Rolling Stones. It's one of the great ones. We'll have it for you right after Rockline on the Loop, FM98.
Welcome back to Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. It's been quite an evening. We're not done yet. If there's a band that understands rock and roll, it's certainly Spinal Tap, and I think it's exemplified in this next song. It's called The Majesty of Rock on Rockline and the Global Satellite Network. Yes, The Majesty of Rock, Spinal Tap on Rockline on the Global Satellite Network. Time for a couple of more calls quickly before we run out of time. We're going to Pittsburgh, PA right now. Kevin is on the line, a listener of WRRX.
Hey, Tap.
Hey,
how's it going?
It's great.
Good to have you guys back. You had a big influence on my musical career.
Oh, thanks.
Big Bottom, one of my favorite songs.
See, people are willing to admit it now. Yeah, the worm.
There was a time when that was not.
The
a
worm
popular
has grown
lyric.
long enough to turn
and to eat its own tail.
Right. Great. So, what's the question?
Yes, I have a couple questions. First of all, with the marriage of David and Janine, does this mean the differences between Nigel and her are okay, or?
Well, they've always been okay. There've just been a lot more of them at times.
Yeah, they're fine differences.
Yeah, I like the differences.
We've worked out a compromise. She stays home.
Well, she stays away from you.
It stays away from you,
No,
right?
I mean, it's one of those things. It's fire and ice, like I said before. No, you said that.
Somebody said it.
I said
Somebody
oil
said
and
that.
water.
Yeah.
I said oil and vinegar. I meant oil and water.
If she comes to a gig, she's got an instrument which she can play, which is a tambourine with all the jingly bits removed and no skin on it, and that's everyone's happy.
That's it. Well, where can you go from there? By
No
the way-
skin on, no skin off.
That's
how
right.
yeah.
That's WRRK in Pittsburgh. I apologize to all the
much
listeners
better,
and the
yeah.
station.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say something
blew it
sounded
big
fishy.
time there, and I knew you guys were going to bust me for that, so I had to correct myself.
Really fishy.
Kevin, do you have another question?
Yeah, I was wondering what the story behind Christmas of the Devil was. Was that like a bad childhood experience, or?
No. It really came. We were just sitting around one time and we were talking about, wonder what the devil does during the festive holiday seasons when everyone's being so nice to one another.
Should we feel sad for him because he's feeling left out?
Yeah, he's probably sitting in his flat, watching telly, watching the children out
Maybe
in
he's
the
got
street.
a small pudding for one, It's a sad
Or does he have his own way of celebrating?
Yeah. So he
Which-
said, well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Keeps him cheerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly does. And it's nice to see it make the CD.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
We've
it's
redone
a
it.
very nice touch. Yeah.
We've redone
very
it,
nice
yeah.
touch. Kevin, thank you very much. Gerard is on the line in West Palm Beach, listening to 103 She in Miami. And Gerard, you are on the Rockline.
Hey, mates.
Hello,
How
Gerard.
you guys doing?
Pretty
Great.
good, Gerard.
You guys are just great. I just like to say that. And
Thanks.
my question is, would you guys be honored if you were put into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Of course. You've got to love something like that.
Yeah, I would take that as an honour, yeah.
Especially now when there's
Do you
no-
mean the Rock and Roll Hall
Yeah,
of Fame?
that's what
or
I
the-
mean.
Yeah. Especially now
The
when there's
College
no-
Basketball Hall of Fame, I
Yeah.
don't think
would be
we've got a
perplexed.
chance.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
especially now when there's no building, so they got nothing to lose. It's all
Yeah.
on paper. They
Yeah.
can put us in. If they change their minds, they can, just erase it. Why not?
Yeah.
Just kind of pencil you in.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck,
What's to lose?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you'd like to start a movement for that, Gerard, that would be great.
It might get lonely, but you could start it.
that, and then you can go to the Hollywood Walk of Fame after that, Gerard.
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I frankly am honoured when they put my Polaroid up on the the luncheonette wall.
What do they
like
do that for?
No, I mean they've done that
Because you
down
haven't paid.
my corner luncheonette. No, we're all settled
I
up
see.
now.
Because
It
your
was a
checks
mistake.
bounce.
It was a mistake. It was a simple mistake.
Yeah.
well, it must have been nice to see your song spelled correctly at one point.
You mean Clam Caravan?
Yes,
Yeah.
which was Calm Caravan.
It was supposed to be Calm Caravan, yeah.
Got kind of screwed up, didn't it?
They screwed up in a big way, yeah.
big way,
Nice
but-
of you to mention it, though.
Yeah, well, certainly.
But you see, it's our maturity as a band. He says, let's leave it.
Let's just leave it lie.
Let them ask,
Exactly.
where are the clams? Just leave it.
I think 8 years ago that wouldn't have happened.
No,
Would you agree?
8 years ago, I would have thrown this microphone down and jumped on you. But I've learned...
Why would you jump on Bob though? He didn't get the name wrong.
I think because I'm sitting closest to him. Is
Yeah.
probably what it
I
is.
just mean I was not in the control
Might be a
that I'm
cologne.
in now these days. I was always looking for a tussle.
Or a punch-up.
Or a tassel.
A punch-up.
Yeah.
I like that, a punch-up. A good term. Gerard, thank you. Thanks to everyone for listening and calling. Rockline mailing address, P.O. Box 4383, Hollywood, California, 90078. Next week, we'll talk about music, the environment, the future of both with our guest, Don Henley. Coming soon, Tony Banks from Genesis, Brian May and Roger Taylor
Yes,
of Queen, and
yeah.
their first radio interview since the passing of Freddie Mercury, and a special Rockline from Wembley Stadium in London, featuring many of the guests that will be performing at the Freddie Mercury tribute concert on Monday, Friday, April 20th, including the gentlemen that have been with us tonight, Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Some special thanks tonight go to Harriet Sternberg and also Rachel Reed, and of course to Wendy Goldfinkel. How could we go on without mentioning Wendy Goldfinkel?
You can't.
Also David Fleischman and Mark Gorlick of MCA Dead Faith Records, and to our guests tonight from Spinal Tap, Derek and David and Nigel. It has been quite an evening. I've enjoyed it very much. It's so great to have you back into the fold and making the music that made you famous.
Well, thanks
Bob.
very much.
It's been nice. It's been a real treat.
Thank you very much. Come
Thanks,
back
Bob.
again, okay?
And turn it up.
That's right. Turn it up. Infinity. We've got that Infinity thing going now. I'll see you at Wembley probably, okay?
Okay, great.
BC, and I'll be seeing you in a week. You've been listening to Rockline, brought to you by Budweiser. Nothing beats a Bud. And by AT&T, proud sponsors of the 1992 U.S. Olympic team. Rockline is engineered by Jimmy Height, John Valenzuela, Jimmy Rash, and Chris Lindsley. Technical direction by Mike Correa. Thanks to Kevin Stevens, Emily Carey, Ed Pollard, Jim Jacob, Tim Carney, Laura Gerhardt, all of them for their special help. Our production assistant is Stephanie Fondler. Rockline is produced by Mark Felsite. Our executive producer is Howard Gilman. Rockline is an exclusive presentation of the Global Satellite Network.
That's a pretty enjoyable Rockline. Those guys are a cut up. All my musician friends loved the Spinal Tap movie, which was it was kind of like the Wayne's World of the 80s. Wasn't it, though?